ton of traffic today. A lot of traffic. Traffic?
Hey, tuber. Oh.
Today we're gonna... Hey tubers, welcome back. We're in the enchanted land of 101 unfinished projects. It's just overwhelming to be in such a place. One of our projects is this 10-inch table saw. It was a gift from a friend of mine. It's an old Craftsman, I think from the early 80s, and I was going through, I got it in place, and I wanted to tune it up, clean it up, and see if we can put it into service. So I was working on that when I ran into this issue. The blade raise knob cranks the blade up and down. Well, it spins and spins and spins, but it doesn't change anything. So you can see the shaft is a D profile shaft. It has a flat spot here, so it has a keyed handle that engages this flat spot. So when you crank the handle, the whole shaft turns instead of the handle just turning on the shaft. And this had one, but it has been worn over several times and clamped once, and so I'm obviously not the first person to have an issue with this. So I was trying to figure out a way to cut this shape into wood. So then I thought I could drill a round hole and drive in some other type of material that would be a nice tight fit and be provide some interference, some friction. So then that's when I came up with this. Just out of a piece of scrap wood. Hooray for scrap wood. Just a proof of concept. It's a 1/2-inch shaft. So I drilled a 1/2-inch hole on the drill press, fit it on the shaft, and then tapped in a piece of copper. I cut this off of a 1/2-inch copper pipe, and now it works. So that worked really well, and that was just kind of a proof of concept. So now I'd like to make a real one, a sort of decent looking one, and I'd like to share that with everybody so that if you have a similar issue, you can solve it at home too. So let's do that now. So we'll make our handle out of this section here. Brought it out a little bit so we're not interfering with the saw. The saw body flares at the bottom, so as you turn the crank around, it wants to hit at the bottom. And then just to complicate matters, I made it extra fancy. So this is kind of a rough sketch of the shape I'm going for. I'm going to use the drill press first. Since it's nice and square and flat, I'll drill my holes for the D shaft and for the handle. So we'll need a 1/2-inch hole for the shaft, then a smaller hole for whatever diameter that is. So let's do that now. Like that. Okay, let's go to the bandsaw and cut out our shapes. Keep this all taped back together. We can cut the other profile and have a compound 3-dimensional piece. The handle slides on the D-ring, or on the D shaft, and spins freely without the shaft spinning because there's no interference. So now we need to cut our copper piece to fit in there. I have my copper piece, just a piece of 1/2-inch pipe. I'm gonna clean it up in the file to give it a sharp edge and a bit of a point and just a little bit of a taper so that it will tap into the into the position we need it. So we got it all cleaned up, sharpened up. It's not exactly shave worthy, but we got to be able to tap it into some wood. So we have our handle on, we have our copper piece to fit in, and we're going to fit the curved part of our copper towards the flat part of the shaft, and we just want to tap it into the handle. And I have my custom rigging set up so that we don't just drive the whole thing further onto the shaft. This just keeps the handle from pushing onto the shaft any further. So without further ado, okay. Well, now let's see if we can get it off. It's coming. So that's good. That works. We can leave this as is even, but with this being such a nice piece of lumber from the wood pile, I'm gonna pull out the sander and round it off and clean it up. So here we have the oscillating spindle sander, and we use that to shape up this piece and around the edges, clean off the saw marks. Okay, so we got it all sanded up. It's a really nice looking piece of wood, especially, it looks too nice to burn, you know. So it's all sanded nice and smooth. So for the finish, I'm going to use this IKEA countertop oil, which is pretty old. It's basically tung oil, linseed oil, and some drying agents. I like to... Oh yeah. Got the nice blow-on finish. That oil pulls the grain out. I mean, have you ever seen a table saw blade height crank of such caliber? I mean, come on. Okay, let's put the handle in. Yeah, this handle is just a steel round stock with a locking washer that just grips onto the shaft when you put it on, and then it doesn't want to come off. So I have a spacer here, which is like a 1/4-inch nut driver that holds the rod in the handle. Then I'll use a socket to seat the washer. Okay, there you go. Let's go put this on the machine. Let's see if the set screw will finish it up. Alright, so I got a little brass finish washer. So this project is getting higher end, which, I mean, it's only fitting. Oh, jeez Louise. That even works. Hot dog now. Okay, so that's a handle that's way too long, but it doesn't need to be nearly this long. It could be cut back here. That's a custom handle for a D shaft. Anything with a D shaft with a busted handle can be repaired with wood. This was a top priority for me to get this custom handle built. So thanks for tuning in and sticking around, and I really do appreciate it. Don't forget to subscribe, leave a comment, thumbs up, notification bell, and I will see you in the next one. Thank you.